I didn't promise, but I promised that I would do my best to do it here, to God damn it, to do it today. So I'm back, and I'm gonna just start warming up, and basically I'm gonna put on the gloves and do combos, and just gonna do requested combos. It's Saturday today, so again, not the super heavy training, but I'm gonna take that opportunity to interact with the chat, do the combos that you suggest, but also gonna offer some of the stuff that I do, and you know, it's always a good practice. So I'm gonna start warming up, and feel free to join. There's like a group training, circuit training is going on here. Have you ever seen the Soviet way? Stuff like that. Or maybe boom. That kind of stuff. Yeah, feel free to say hi, by the way. Whew. Two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Take off today. Well, it's technically not going to be anything hard. Just going to go through the combos, and always good to train technique. As long as your neural system is not burning out, technically you can spend every day in the gym if you want to. It really depends what you're going to do. Hey, keep going, get that work. Again, yeah, gonna definitely do some of the work, but nothing heavy. The heavier days has to be done in the heavier trainings and sessions has to be done in the heavier days specifically. Okay, it's just doing basic warm-ups, and we shall just go to the boxing back straight away. Maybe a little bit shadow boxing first. Everyone? Okay. Knees. Toes. Because a little tip, because you're gonna have to do a proper rotation, warm up your toes well. Okay, inverted, the outer position, like try all of them and just do a proper warm up for your feet and toes. Morning. If you're doing well, let me just, I have my water here. I'm gonna take out the gloves and we shall go to the heavy bag. One second. Right. Well, now I'm just thinking, I guess I should do this back. Okay. Let me think about it. Maybe fine. Okay. Well, let's take this one. Let me just move this up just to make sure that nothing is I'm just wondering. Yeah, I don't know. I cannot do anything with this, so let's just keep it that way. Alright. Я могу туда повернуть здесь. А? Да, хорошо. Как, вы не мешаю? Хорошо. Так, главное не мешать. Okay. Or actually, why do I do that? Because I will have to interact with the chat, so I'll just... Well, you see? That's the thing. Now it flips the camera in the wrong way, and I don't even know which one should I do. Should I just do the right direction? Let me just... Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it now like this. Show you a certain combo, then I'm gonna come back and switch the camera back, okay? Everyone, I just wanted to stop, say, you let a lady have a beautiful smile. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so obviously, I mean, not really my style, but good. I believe that it's good thing to try to balance and be on your feet when you do training, because it's rather better to be used to your thing. Okay, so I rather prefer it like this. Like this, bum, bum, bum. But in my case, because I'm shorter boxer, that doesn't work all the time. That works with someone slightly taller. So, you know, the combos we're gonna go through, I'll try to explain what I'm doing. So here, for example, if I have someone way taller than me, I'm not gonna try to, you know, do the counters with them. At least not from the far distance. I would try to get in, you know, like boom, like this, boom, 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 something like this, you know, bam. No. I'm just gonna try to stick as close. So let me look at the chat for a second. If there's anything you guys want to say. Well, yeah, basically, yeah, nothing crazy. Backs cannot hit back. Yes, they definitely don't, but you can do definitely enough on your back, on your back to get super tired, super exhausted. So back can exhaust you, that's for sure. Yeah, okay. Well, you want harder punches. Let's go through that. Let's do it. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it like this. You guys know that I'm an orthodox. So yeah, front camera is just flipping that in a weird way. Shows me as the southpaw. I'm doing boxing training. Good for you. Someone drew a face here. It's quite funny. But anyways, let me just. Okay, here. That's a good angle actually. You can show me from like this side. So same combos. For example, let's go through. I don't know, basic punches. The different ways to do it. For example, you can go like feel it in, back, you know. So just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, bum. For example, right? Like 1, 2, 3, bum. You can do from the space spot and just go as fast as possible. Just but like a shorter, stiffer one. Like something like this. Or you can go heavier and literally go like something like that. So even if you take the most simple combination and a series of the punches, you can change the approach. You can change basically the way you do it. Hi everyone. I appreciate you guys, but please don't spam. Going to the gym now. Thank God it's a weekend. You have lost the fast hands. I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, as I was saying, first was in the movement, pump, pump, pump. The second was like literally like short ones, not even fully extended. And the last one was like slightly slower, more powerful, still trying to do it fast, but like a different power distribution. Did I paint Goku on the wall? Well, not here, not in this gym. Do you like boxing or MMA? I like both, but I practice boxing. Give me a second. I'll just clip my hair proper way. Monkey King painting. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, fair enough. I keep forgetting about this one. It's a Monkey King, it's a lion, octagon, king of the jungles, king of the trees. Yeah, so you guys having the group session here. And that's me flexing. But yeah, oh man, such a difference in the camera. I wish my front camera was as good. Yeah, on the better lighting, it's a little bit better. Schultz sister. Yeah, Schultz is great. It's way bigger. She'll kick my ass. I just subscribed because Rat had boxing sickness. I appreciate it. I'm also married. People who follow me for a while, they know about it, but it should be fine. Я вас не снимаю. Yeah. But okay, well, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it like this. Look like Becky Lynch. Yeah, I've been told that. I'm gonna change the camera to the front camera like this, and we'll do more combinations. And before you ask about if people mind me recording, they don't, because I ask them in advance, and of course that is a priority that other people feel comfortable. So I have a permission to record, and no one complained so far. And if they do, I'm just gonna move the camera. So okay, well, same idea, you know, like you do like a bum hook, jab hook, uppercut. So you would do like come back, 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 back. I tip in the end sometimes just because it's my habit, kind of to push away, get in. Well, it's quite an amateur boxing habit, I'll be honest. Same combo from the same spot, like even faster. Okay, and now we can go harder from the middle range, like okay, coming back, come back. Wow, look at what I have become, or you have become your wrecking machine for your next opponent. Thank you for your support. We shall see, but I'm gradually getting ready. I'm actually learning something. I appreciate it. I try to make it that way that, well, whatever I do here, I don't do it just for fitness. Like I really try to put the sense to it, right? So if it's helpful for you, that's highly appreciated. Always give me your feedback, whether it works or not. You wrap your hands. Usually yes, sometimes no. Not now, I'm fine. You know, when we get used to it, we don't wrap it every training. Well, that's right or wrong, but that's how it is. Can teach some footwork. Okay, yeah. I'll do footwork with the heavy bag today, okay? Like just to make it more entertaining. But so first of all, obviously the heavy bag can plunge, but what you can do with heavy bag, you can pull it like this, for example. So there are drills that you can do with the heavy bag. Just boom, 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 like triple jab and stepping backwards, right? So what we also can do is like boom, 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 boom. Something like this, right? So it's like boom, 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 boom. So working, instead of just being stiff like this and just do combos, right? It's nice to have try to work on the distance from the very beginning. You can always try your reach. Well, this is my longest reach, so this is considered a long range for me, right? So from here, let's say, okay, I can punch there, right? But in reality, I can step backwards. This is kind of like a safe distance. Even someone who would have longer reach, you know, it's not a big they would maybe reach with their end of the glove, you know, not really hard punches, and always can back off, or always can reflect those punches. But also I can do like, so you see what I do? I'm do pivoting, like try not to fall forward, not pushing, don't push against the back. Do like, so when it comes to me, I try to react. I'll do more of the footwork around those combos. Oh man, did I forget to change the camera? Shit. I'm so sorry. Yeah, big ass. Yeah, I know I have a big ass. You know what, I don't really, sorry guys, but I'm not really trying to flash it here. How long did it take for you to get comfortable hitting the back hard and not hurting your wrists? Years, maybe 1 or 2 years, I would say. But it's also, you gotta avoid, like in the beginning, I suggest you to always wrap your wrists just to have extra security on your wrists, specifically bones, because those bones are quite, I wouldn't say mobile, but there is some movement, and when you land the punch, because the force is coming right onto your wrist, it actually shrinks a little bit right in your wrist. So you don't want to have any break or any injury in the earlier, because that will take longer time to heal it. So in the beginning, really wrap the wrists, and gradually, you know, you don't have to go too hard, you know, just learn, get the sense of how it should feel, and gradually with the practice it's gonna get better. Okay, can you show us how to shadow box effectively? I believe same as in any work, whatever you do, pad work, a heavy bag, all the kind of stuff. You want to have a goal. Obviously, start visualizing. Like I prefer my hands to be up. Some people do this. Some people do, you know, like almost like dropped hands. You know, it depends. Every style has its advantages and disadvantages. I prefer my hands up here, not there. Like literally, my elbows drop. The punches I throw is, I'm not lifting my elbows like this. I do like pump, 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 pump. Obviously, when I throw hook, the elbow comes up, uppercut, and straight punches from the bottom. So it's like a shorter, more compact punches. And work from the basics, you know. First, relax. You don't have to bounce all the time. If you want to be, just go like pump, 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 active, like pump, 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 like, you know, that Soviet style pump. Something like this. Well, you can do it. It's a good cardio. So you definitely can do shadow boxing rounds as for a cardio endurance purposes as well. You can always get extra dumbbells, and that's you know, works as a great cardio. But if you really want to do a technical work, just relax, think about what you want to do, and the first, obviously, you would start with jab, boom. You know how you throw that jab, boom. You know, try different jabs. Try to with pivot, and when you pivot, always pivot back. Boom, 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 back. You know, keep that hand mobile. Try to throw double, triple jabs. Then you can add, you know, like let's say one, boom, 1, 2, like 1, 2. Depending on what kind of boxer you are. I'm not gonna push up now. I'm not. It's not even my training day, guys. I'm just gonna show you some purely boxing related stuff. How to feel more natural during shadow boxing. It feels weird, unnatural when you do it. Well, then slow it down. You probably try to go too fast, and you know your legs crossing, and you're not feeling comfortable. Like your hands are here. So just relax. Get into stance. If there's something, go in front of the mirror, look at yourself, and see what are you doing wrong. Maybe your elbows are up, maybe you're too open and you don't even realize it, you know, that kind of stuff. And then, as I said, learn how to throw jabs. Ideally, you can do that from the same spot. Then boom, right, 1, 2. You know, keep your hands up, pump, 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 pump. It's just me adding more of the punches up, but start simple. So then I would still do in the beginning combos of the straight punches first. So I would learn how to do 1, 2, then I would learn how to do 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Always, if you don't land the last front punch, try to pull that one after cross or hook, doesn't matter, after right hand thrown. Just have this here. So 1, 2, 3. Learn how to don't throw punches like this. Go throw it forward, directly back to the chin. Shortest direction back to the chin. Boxing. Chapuri is a great example of basic and fundamental at a high level. Yeah, and also having IQ and actually putting that. What makes basics great? When you really master them, and then you learn how to and when to use them. And obviously, it's not only during the fight. Because guys in pro boxing, in UFC, in pro MMA, pretty much, you know who's your opponent in advance. Even if it's not the whole camp, usually it's a month before. Even if it's like last notice, you still can watch the fight. Your camp, your trainers can watch the fight, and that's the thing. That's part of building the strategy. One thing is to learn those basics and master them. Another is to have a good fun. And like Topuria was saying about Charles, that he's like, I don't understand like why, people say that it's a big deal, because he was saying that Charles goes in, like he's brave and everything, that he goes in, he exposes his chin, and that's what Ilya needed. So it's basically, he doesn't even have to chase him to get him in the corner. He literally comes in. That's the best, just he threw, if I remember correctly, he threw jab, and then he hopped in, literally met him because he knew he would come in. So he hopped in, that left one, flip, and then it was right hook that caused the knockout, and then another left hook right on the meeting. So it was like 2 punches. And from the middle range, like middle / crossfoot range, and that's it. Here's your knockout. What would be your first punch 9 out of 10 in a fight? Well, ask me in the boxing punch. In the boxing match, it's jab. It's always jab. It's always jab. No matter what you do, it's always jab. Because it's just kind of the way it is now. Like, you know, you gotta test the distance and jab. Like first rounds is basically jabbing. So in real life, I run fast and I'm very good at avoiding shady places and situations. So I don't think I need much punches. But if you would say, if someone tries to come at me like this, it's like it's Olivier example. They just come at me like this, you know, like they want to grab me. And like, I mean, it depends on the size of person, but probably the first reaction I would do, it would be just like 1, 2, 3 and just run away. Like I would just land, or 1, 2, something like this. If I'm talking about not what I would do consciously, probably what would throw automatically. Because yeah, that's I think like 2 or 3 punches. That's what I usually throw, and just like it just would be like just kind of and run away. You know. Also imagine like being with a scared face and then like boom boom, just leaving a couple punches and run away, like sprint the hell out of there. And here it is. At least you know it gives you momentum to go safe. But okay. So anyways, I'm gonna go back to the back this time, yeah, here we go. Now I made sure that I flip the camera, so you gotta see me properly here. But guys, feel free to write in the chat if you want me to try a specific combo. I'll do that. Okay, I'll do a little bit of shifts. For example, you know, I'm here, boom, no, from here, like when I throw, like I went in that jab, let's say it landed. So I'm not talking about the far jab that barely reached. I'm talking about more like, boom, I hopped in, then I go immediately here. So it's like do boom, boom, and then switch, boom. I would even use my hands to kind of push myself. So you see what I do? Push myself like this against the person's body. So I think that's the beauty of the colder and middle and colder range. You literally can, you don't have to only throw punches and have your hands here. You can push them. You know, you can boom, boom, you know, like something like this. Use their own weight, their momentum, you know, apply your own momentum and that kind of stuff. So again, so I'm like, boom, boom, boom. So look what I did also. I literally come in and I push. I'm not pushing with the elbow. Don't get me, like, don't take it wrong, okay? I'm not throwing elbow to their stomach. I'm just pushing, extending, basically pushing with my body and my hand. And here, it's even easier to move myself. So again, I will do like, of course you can do it without the push as well. You can do like, pum, 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 pum. But it really depends. If you give them if you give a longer boxer, or it works with a slightly longer person. Even, I would say this shifts work pretty much with everyone, but the more short person you have, the lower you have go to go lower. And you know, I mean, it's not ideal. I would still necessarily wouldn't do it this way specifically against someone my height. But if there's someone taller, which is most of the time in my case, instead of giving them space and, well, maybe they can do sidestep and just, you know, they're not going to let me finish this combo. When I jabbed in and I pushed in, like right to the stomach, and I can feel there, bum, bum. I can even do like, while I'm rotating, I still throw the punch, and then I throw the punch from this shifted position. Yeah, Tyson, the matter shuffle, so called. The elbow frame, yeah, that's a good word. Sometimes, pardon for my English, sometimes it's not perfect. At the end of the day, I've been taught all of that stuff in Russian or Georgian. So basically, I relearned that in English. best part of the stream, me flashing my fat ass. I can't help it. I mean, no matter how much I cut, it's still there. It's not going anywhere. Chris says, my husband is here, by the way. She teaches and interacts with you in the chat, guys. Yes, that's true. The overhead combo. Okay, let's try overhead. Good point. I'm not gonna run too much. I'm gonna do it and come back briefly and then go back. It's just, now the angle is correct. You can see that I'm orthodox. You can see when I switch the stances, you know, and it's not that confusing. So and the camera quality is better, so why not? Overhead. Well, in my case, again, I wouldn't do overhead from here because I would miss most of the, I would miss. The long range basically is not the range for me against someone who is, let's say, 5 inches taller, even 5 inches taller. It doesn't sound that long, but also you gotta look at my range. Like my arm range is almost exactly like my height. I'm almost like a, you know, same parameters in the body length and the arm length. Maybe my arms are even shorter. So I'm not one of those people whose arms reach till here. That means I cannot execute. I cannot really get any advantage from trying to stand on the distance. That means that I would look like a fool on the distance. I would, no matter what I would try, even if my technique and footwork is the best, if I try to execute it from the long distance, well, it just doesn't work for me, right? So that's why hands up, bump, sleep, 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 catching some of the punches, bump, opening, finding openings from the longer range, bump, 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 surrounding combos like this, bump, 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 bump. So something like that. And overhead, yeah, we were talking about overhead. Where we do that, I would do it here. I would be in the long, I would be in the middle range at least. And when I'm kind of sleeping, let's say I'm taking a jab cross, doesn't matter. I'm just decided to slip in this direction to the right side, cover myself with the left, and from here, literally having a shift, like boom. So again, wouldn't be here, wouldn't be too long. I'm not the fan of the long punches anyways when it comes to me, because I don't have long arms anyway. So it will be something like boom, something like this. Okay, but overheads are great when they land. They're super epic, that kind of stuff. But still takes quite a lot of energy, and I'll be honest, doesn't really feel good in my shoulder. So I would still, with the same effect, do shorter, like bump, 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 shorter cross, and I would do cross like, you know, I'm here, bump, bump, bump. So if you notice, I'm not aiming to punch here. I'm already preparing myself to get up there. So be super annoying, basically press my opponent a lot, but also do some sort of shifts and shuffles, all the kind of stuff. Well, we shall see. I mean, let's see. Okay, let's tell you that way. If Jack somehow manages to keep the fight up in the stance, then chances are a bit different. I think Jack's going to be better in striking, but better, not significant, not necessarily like better. I think Makhachev still has a chance to also knock out. Like in this fight, I'll tell you, Islam can do submission and can knock out. He can do both. In Jack's case, it's possible from his side to perform knockout too. On the ground, I don't think he has really chances against Islam. And maybe that fight could go to the decision as well, or like a later round stoppage. So we shall see. Like I don't know how much Jack is ready for the wrestling. That's the question. That's why I've been saying all this time, it's like 50-50 to me, and let's leave it that way. Let's see tomorrow. I'll try my best. I'm actually gonna try to get up. It's not too early in Vietnamese time, but I'm gonna just live stream how I watch it and live stream my reaction. So feel free to join for that live stream. Yeah, my husband says, don't BS, please, don't disrespect, don't spam, like, all that kind of stuff. And ask questions. If you want me to go through certain combos, come on, just drop it, go ahead. Overheads are great for taller opponents, in my opinion. Well, nothing against it. I'm talking in my situation. I prefer it even shorter. So sometimes it goes and it works, it kind of like go from here. You don't want to open an overhead like this. This is also not a good thing. You still want to, it's somewhere between, this is hook, right? Or this is hook, for example, like depends. This is longer range, you would hold it like this, and middle range and close range, you would hold it like this, and you have cross, right? So the overhand is somewhere like a 40, like somewhere in the middle, okay? Something like this. It also helps you to protect yourself, because you shift in that moment. So it's a great punch. But as I said, I kind of prefer like bam, bam, bam. So depends. I don't really use that many overhands, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad punch. You have to move your head while you're punching at the same time. If you want to close the gap, you can play in distance. Yes, that's true, and that's why it's good to do light technical sparring. That's why it's good to have a certain exercises or pad work where you get used to it. In the sparrings, that's the thing. I try to use I try to feel with my hands a lot of things. I'll show you in a bit. So okay, let me see if there is any request. I share this with my wife to learn boxing. That's great. Okay, well, let's flip the camera again, okay? Let's go for it. Well, what I think sometimes, you don't want to stop for long. I mean, that's kind of unwritten boxing rule. You don't want to stay in guard for too long, because you might think that I'm going to do something. In reality, your opponent is already ready that you're just going to flinch or do something, and they, especially if they have longer reach, if they are good counter punchers, they're just gonna get you, right? So you don't want to be in this position and feel like, let me, now I'm going to do it. Now I'm going to, do the sleep and punch and do some crazy combo, but it's just not going to work like that. But what works is, at the same time, you don't have to be super like bam, bam, bam. You're just gonna wear yourself out with peekaboo or too many unnecessary body movement. I think what makes a lot of sense is, first of all, as the shorter distance, look at my legs. I'm not standing like this or even this. I'm trying to get in. So it creates the illusion that I'm far. In reality, boom, I'm already here. So if I need to, boom, something like this, and if I need to, I can go under, so it's like keep your front leg being sneaky in. And obviously in the beginning I don't move too much. I also don't want to show from the beginning that I'm capable of this and that. In the beginning it's always both of the sides testing each other, seeing what's the gaps, all that kind of stuff, right? So they're like boom, boom, boom. Look at my hands. I'm not just getting ready like this. I'm like, okay, let them throw the jab. Boom, boom, boom. And even though I do like a, catching, even the catching like this, there are many ways. I mean, different styles. Change. I like changing. I'm not being like this all the time. I just like to keep my hands up because I can use momentum. But so the point is, you're moving, but you're also moving to their pace. You're not trying to do too much before it's needed. And very often they throw jab to your hand. A lot of boxers are gonna aim for your head, unless they're as short as you. Like a longer people, there is no point for them to really go under here because they need time to come up, and they don't want to go on your height because they would lose the advantage, right? So the longer person would go like, like imagine I'm a longer person. They would try to counter you every movement of yours. So that's why you're like bum, okay, bum, that's okay, bum, 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 bum. Go stomach. Stomach always works. At least in my case, one thing I definitely learned is that when they throw that one jab to your head, boom, boom, you go here. And this is a good time not to waste it. So yeah, first time you try it, you might do it again. At some point, you're like, you can also go another way. So you create some diversity. But another try, if you do it, don't just stop here. You would do like, something like this. And in the pro fights, it's like a longer pace. So not every boxer gonna try to drag into deep sea waters and exhaust themselves and try to exhaust you straight away. So first round, it's like a lot of checking, a lot of observing, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and seeing, is that person, sometimes your opponent gonna be better, meaning they're better technically. They're just better technical boxers than you are. What you do in this case? Push them, pressure, and that's why ideally you would have a better stamina. That's why I encourage everyone, try your stamina. It's better to die on the cardio training, a couple times a week, the high intensity cardio, interval cardios, and gradually build up that stamina and have that advantage, because that's gonna help you even against a better boxers who have as not good stat. Like Mirab, even though it's not a boxing example, it's a very good example generally how it works in the martial arts. Okay. Someone says, woman's gonna teach me how to fight. More like a box, okay? If you look at it as a sport, you can look at it as a sport, as a form of art, because I look at it as a form of art. I mean, I'm a girl, okay? To me, boxing is more than just fighting, throwing punches. So if you're interested for that, if you want to see a perspective of an artist, someone who is really, really, really interested and enthusiastic about understanding these details and trying to think what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and by extension know what works for shorter boxers, taller boxers, this and that, you can stick around. I'm not using distance because some techniques are effective while you're gonna close the distance. Well, that's the good point, because now when we talk about pressure, exactly, we don't mean only, like I'll show you. It's not only pressuring like this, okay? Sometimes you gotta even swallow the punch, and it's fine, okay? Like, especially if you're in the appropriate, good weight class for you, and power, they're most likely going to be as strong as you are or as powerful as you are. Maybe sometimes you meet some stronger boxer, but it's not an end of the world. You can swallow a couple punches. So when we talk about you have a better boxer in front of you, they're they counter punch very well, that kind of stuff. Well, I have a friend, she's a southpaw, she's female boxer, but she's super good. She spars, her style is resembles, she fights like a boy, in a good way, obviously. And even though she's shorter, she's even shorter than me, she actually goes with the successful pressure, and she knows she learned how to work on the distance quite successfully. So she goes in with the big punch, boom, she does a jog, boom, so you see, literally from here, she boom, goes like this. And obviously, it takes speed, it takes boom, 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 boom. So, and also you see, even though it seems like I might falling, but look at this. I still keep my hand up, and still my leg, it's a little bit wider stance, which I'm not the fan with, but sometimes it's gonna happen. And as long as I'm not like this, as long as I'm standing strong, my front leg can secure me, it should be fine. It's just not necessarily the most comfortable way to pressure, but it's it can be quite offensive, and it can work. It works in her case. And she's obviously super technical. She slips punches quite well, and because she's shorter, she doesn't just go like this, she doesn't go bump. She ideally always shifts slightly, same as I try to do. So it's more like bump, bump, boom, boom. And if she comes to the longer range, it's like explosion, and then backing off. So I'm just kind of mentioned a little bit of her style. Obviously, she does it better than I do. Speaking of her style, but that's also an amateur boxing. At this point, it's an amateur boxing pace, bomb, and a pro pace. You would have moments like this. No matter what you do. Yeah, there are some brilliant boxers who have a super high pace for entire 12 rounds, like Bivol, for example. But if you put Bivol in a 3-round amateur, like back into the amateur boxing, he's going to be even faster, right? So it's always higher pace, and there is certain difficulty. There is something a little bit more difficult in the amateur boxing. There's some things that are more difficult in the pro boxing, but so I showed you. Just let me look at the chat. What I'm saying, I showed you how she would do that approximately, and it works. I think it has its own vulnerabilities too, but you know, sometimes you gotta push the character. You need to push. You know, you need to show them that you're not afraid, and you're not backing off, right? I mean, you're gonna back off for the, you know, just to do the combo, but you're not gonna back off with your mindset. So that on its own is the best way to, like, best attitude to pressure with. But of course, we're not forgetting about the pacing still, because sometimes when you see that you throw those punches and you're like pressuring them, but you see that another boxer, they're good and smart enough to basically take everything on their guard and just, you know, play with you. That means you're already losing. You're setting up yourself for the loss, because you're just wearing yourself out without a significant damage to your opponent. So you also gotta be smart. You need to change pace. When you see that something is not working, pace it off, change it, you know, try something else. That's why we're training that different things in the gym. We're not just training that 1 or 2 combos. We learn different things, and there are certain things that work the best for us and we master the best. But then there's certain things that we always should develop, should get better, and come up with some new stuff as well, because, well, as I see in the modern boxing, this is what IQ wins, and the tactic. And it, obviously men's boxing is like a whole another level, but I can see more and more in the women's boxing as well. It's not only brawling and throwing punches anymore. It becomes more and more tactical. How do you manage the small position changes, such as distance manipulation, shifting? Well, I mean, it really depends on the opponent, and I can tell you, I'm not perfect at it. I mean, it really takes a little bit more of the, which one should I do? Here, let me see, which one, okay, I almost forgot to switch camera, sorry. All right, now it works. Okay, good. Anyways, it's both feet and your body as well. So you definitely control distance with your feet. So it's like as Crawford said, it's a game of the inches. Thumb diagonally, switch the stance. Sometimes, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Go bump, 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 like a, you know, bouncing, being able to switch distances fast. So those things obviously need to be trained. But again, up to the style. What I try to go in, because my goal is to get in like, you know, like that kind of stuff. You know, something like this. I would literally try to push with my own body, with my own hands, with my guard against the opponent, and just switches from there. But obviously not in all cases. You know, just if you end up to be here, there's no point just to clinch, right? You see, when boxers get that, you know, luxury sometimes to get here, because your opponent is tired, they're trying to just clinch you. Well, that's the thing. Use it, like, and yeah, some of them do, like, you know, punches like that. But from the beginning, it's better not to give up your hands. You keep them here, because you always boom, boom, boom. I open too much, but well, that happens. You actually always If you slow-mo elite boxers fighting, you can see the opening. They actually open quite a lot because they create the momentum, they create the power. So mostly, like, there are some, moments that you're more close, but then boom, boom, and you open yourself if you're watching slow-mo. But there's nothing wrong with that. Those punches landed, they made a knockout. So what's wrong with that, right? And again, in boxing, you're gonna get hit back too. So there's no point of being completely, oh, I shouldn't get punched. You're not gonna come up with that super power style that is, you're like being a complete matrix. Even Mayweather and Vasily Lomachenko, known as the Matrix, even then, like, they still get hit in their face every now and then. So it's, I think it's just a good attitude to be ready, getting punched in your face, but also, don't compromise your offense. Very often in sparrings, what I see, what happened to me, what happens to everyone is like, oh, okay, I'll get this perfect moment now. There's no perfect moment. You got to create it. And usually you set up. That's why you use jabs. That's what you check the distances. Where's the most comfortable distance you punch from? Loma Usyk legends. Yes, they are. Every boxer harnesses their ability and their own skill set, depend on athletic ability, and athletic ability is also something that is can be improved. Diego Corrales, had very good arms. It's funny that you brought him up, but this is inside the game, and the ability to get leverage on these punches was extraordinary. Yeah, no, it's a good example of. Definitely, he was creating a very good leverage. That's a good point. Okay, do jab, head, okay, jab to the head, then cross, so it's a 1-2, to the body, left hook, to the head, roll, sleep. Okay, let me just, so it's like 1, 2, 3, then roll, sleep, bump. Well, again, I can do that, but not really something that I would try to use. Maybe sometimes you improvise. I mean, in the boxing, hold up, let me just switch the camera. Yeah, that happens sometimes. You have sometimes longer arms and shorter, so the body proportions are something. Let me just check the camera again. Yeah, body proportions is definitely individual, and it's not only, sometimes if you're taller, doesn't mean that you have a longer reach. Okay, so what was the combo? Like 1, 2, 3, bomb, but then sleep. But that's the thing, if I'm already here, there is no point for me to just sleep. I would do hook. So building up combos is also a certain, you have certain rules, and obviously it's like with an art. The better artist you are, the better this you can distort your art. You basically become Salvador Dali, but after becoming an academically educated artist. Same in the boxing. Once you become very good at those basics, so usually you would do, if you throw jab, this is not what you do as you wouldn't sleep after left jab to the right. You expose yourself, you might go straight away on the cross, but not for the beginners. What you would learn is jab, always pull, punch backwards, and always sleep to the same direction, bum. So you do one, bum. If you left the right one, you go right, bum. So those combos are like the ones that are the most basic, the basic rules are applied to them, and they work, right? So I would do something like this, 1, 2, 3, I rolled, and then boom, another hook. So it's like boom, boom, boom. Oh, sorry, the stomach. 1, 2, 3, boom, boom. So again, boom, boom, boom. I would do something like this. Let me come back to the camera. Yes. which country is the best spot for boxing training? There are a few countries actually. Mexico, United Kingdom, US, Russia, Kazakhstan, I think quite a lot of post-Soviet countries, Kyrgyzstan, Ukraine. Georgia is not bad either anymore. I mean, we have some prominent boxers now coming up. There's actually one guy, Lasha Guruli. He's on his way. I think he was on the in the prelims on the main card of the Usyk versus Dubois 2. That was his second professional fight, which he won. So Georgia is not bad. Yeah, and I guess what else is good? I mean, Europe is also pretty solid. And I would say Asia, like now Japan, you have Inoue, probably the best Japanese boxer, maybe one of the best in the current, at least top 10 current boxers. So yeah, and I think you can find a very great gyms, pretty much. Not everywhere, but there are many places you can find a good gyms. Even here, I started seeing more of the shorts popping up of the boxing, like amateur boxing, pro boxing fights here in Vietnam, and they're good. They're quite good actually. I don't know how I came across this, but I'm so glad I did. Keep fighting. Appreciate it. Miss Marisa, I think there is a girl. Finally, thank you for coming, and just don't go, please. You're welcome. Okay. Never been on the live stream before. This is cool. I appreciate it. Thank you. There are some cool live streams, and I'm glad that you hopped in on mine. The problem with American guys, every gym owner is boxing manager trainer and get you into BS contract. Yeah, gotta be careful with it. So it's better to come on in with your own manager, someone who you, well, can trust at least. Who's your favorite fighter? Fighter or boxer? There's distinction. Well, Georgian UFC fighters, both Merab Ilya, Alex Pereira. You know, there are many. You know, there are many. And when it comes to the boxers, out of nowadays, Crawford, he really made me look at boxing for the different perspective and like, you know, differently, strategy-wise, and, you know, perceiving the beauty of it. Usyk, I've been following Usyk and Lomachenko, like the Ukrainians, for a long time, like I think since I was 15. Triple G, GOAT, Canelo, despite losing to Crawford and having his, like he's having a hard time with the elite level fluid boxers. And you cannot blame him. It doesn't make him less great, also considering the way how he accepts the loss, like a true champion. So, but still, Canelo, I've been watching them. I think Triple G, that was around when I was 15 when I just started boxing, and this is one that was a big deal. Triple G triologies was like throughout that time. We're quite excited for it. Yeah, and there are many older boxers. I was saying that, I mean, Tyson, one of the all-time favorites, Roy Jones Jr., Bernard Hopkins, and Manny Pacquiao, and the one, I mean, Great Ali is the Great Ali, like he's a legend, despite me putting him on my top favorite or not. But who became one of my top favorite boxers with, like, you know, whole attitude and like being a true champion is actually Floyd Patterson. Somehow, like, I knew that he was Klaus's previous student, one of the champions he made, and he was also practicing Peekaboo style. But I didn't know his biography. Like, I just know Floyd Patterson, like, you know, pretty much his record, and like his comeback after the loss with the I forgot the guy's name, but his surname is Johansson, the white boxer who he lost to, and then he came back. Was the nicest person in the world, super humble, super kind, like a true champion, you know what I mean? And like even on the ring. And Ali was saying at that period when he was reigning that the only person he saw winning over him and possibly being able to knock him out, something like that, would be Floyd Patterson. That was Ali saying himself. So it's quite interesting. But yeah, there are many. There are many. Boxing and martial arts are beautiful. Has a beautiful history, full of the warriors. Okay, I keep scrolling up. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Marvin Hagler, yeah, I mean, Four King era. Hagler, Thorns, I mean, somehow, like, so I think Ray Leonard for me is the most technical out of them. But like the Duran, Sugar Ray, Thorns, and Hagler. Hagler is the beast, but Thorns being like, you remember the guy, super long reach, super tall, and yeah, their clashes was legendary, guys, and yeah, that was a great era. So thank you for mentioning him. Salvador Sanchez, thanks for mentioning him as well. Great boxer. Yeah, Ingemar, yes. I always forget the name. Ingemar Johansson. Greetings from Puerto Rico. Hi to everyone. Sugar Ray H. Hagler out. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit mean way to say it, but I can't blame you. Okay, South Africa. I appreciate. I have quite a lot of friends from South Africa. There are quite a lot of them here in Vietnam, by the way. Two street boxer of India have won bronze medal in Olympics. Well, congratulations. The same for Georgia. Georgian couple of boxers won the medals. I mean, in Olympics specifically. That's also was historical for us. So yeah, no, it's congrats, guys. My husband says subscribe and like, guys. It's appreciated. Okay, I'll do a little bit more combos. Let me see the time. They're closing at 9, so I just gotta be out of here around that time. Okay, I'm just wondering what to do today. It's just I'm not even training. I'm just showing the combos. So someone was asking about me throwing hard punches. But that's the thing, I don't throw a single hard punch, obviously, right? It's usually, for my size, for my weight class, the most optimal is 2, 3, sometimes 4 combo, punch combos. So let's try to do that. So I'm here, and all of a sudden, sometimes that's the thing, you don't even need to set up things, because even though we're breaking down the elite techniques and how elite boxers do it, but I'm not elite. A lot of people that I'm gonna fight in the beginning are not elite, right? So sometimes you're just like here and you just do poof, poof, poof. That's it. Not that's it exactly, but that's already enough to kind of like, you know, like you're here. You know, something like this. So good exercise, by the way. I suggest you to. Sorry guys, I don't know what happened, but anyways, I'm just saying sometimes this is a good way to train. It's still playing, because then you might not go beyond that. Like, this is how you want to get used to throwing punches and not getting tired at the same time. How long were you sparring before you perfected your form? When I started sparring after, well, I started sparring, but that's the thing, I sparred in amateur boxing. I had Georgian championship, I had one international competition, and I had quite some open ring tournaments. And that's the thing, I wasn't great. I wasn't really that great. I didn't know how to use range. No one explained to me those things, and I don't blame them. There was like a, kind of similar school. Yeah, they would teach you a little bit the close distance, but that's it. Not really how to really get there, the specific technique, and how to push there, the mentality. So I wasn't that great, and I was already sparring, still throwing punches, still landing some, getting hit back as well. Now, when I sparred, when I was back in Georgia, I had a couple sparrings. Obviously, it was training, but it's Georgian gym. It's like an old school Georgian gym, and every time they spar, they go super heavy, and that's very bad because a lot of them are kids, underage. And underage, I'm talking about. Obviously, they're not putting it like it's like for super heavy spars. That's the thing. That's why I was not really going for fighting. I was going just for catching. But they were coming with the pressure, all pressure they had, everything. And one thing I learned during those sparrings is that kids can kick my ass. Well, jokes aside, I'm actually okay with that. And that's important thing. When you're standing in the sparring and you can get the head, sometimes you get punched and you punch back. You don't let your ego to, flush out, and you still do something smart. You try to look for openings, space yourself, train yourself in the right tempo. I think that means you're okay with that, right? You're okay with that exposure, doing those sparrings. The only thing I'm not okay with is that heavy sparring. That's the thing. I was not trying to get, when you try to do like boom, 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 you would do that on the fight. But when you do like a sparring, I wouldn't do it that hard. I would do like fast punches, but my intention wouldn't be to like knock them out or anything. It would be just to try to find those gaps, land those punches, right? And in the sparring, you also let each other. You let each other come out, that kind of stuff. Not trying to go after each other and kill each other. But it was a good experience for me. I look at it that way. And I wanted to try something heavier. I wanted to see how I get to stand under the pressure. And, there are always better boxers. There's always someone who has more experience. But, I'm also gradually aiming to get there. Yeah, my husband says, I'm not even reading a lot of stuff, but my husband says, why are you guys bragging that you think you could take a girl in a very small weight class? Makes no sense. Yeah, exactly. I think how you should look at it is maybe try out some stuff I'm showing and I'm doing myself, and try it in your next training. Or if you're not training, just better go to the gym, stop, put your ego aside, actually start training and try some of those things, and to let me know if it works. I think that will be better. Okay. Yeah, stop spamming, please. I'm in jiu-jitsu. Miss Marisa says, I gotcha. I'm in jiu-jitsu right now and teaching myself sparring to get into kickboxing. Wow, that's awesome. Only have been doing it for 7 months. Thank you for the insight. Admire your determination. Absolutely appreciate you being here. Well, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? And what's your goals? Do you want to do it for yourself, or you really want to aim, for the pro level? Okay, thank you, Chris, baby. Thank you for dealing with the chat. I appreciate you. So let's thank Chris one more time for trying to keep the. You're gonna watch one championship. Well, I need to start watching one championship. At this point, I follow one championship on the platforms like Instagram, YouTube. I always now they PR Stam Fair attacks quite a lot. And she's awesome. And there's some other fighters. It's super entertaining when I watch highlights. They also don't have a drug test, I think, or very not strict one. Though they have hydration tests, which is super important. So that's actually a super good thing. I need to start watching it, I'll be honest. But I've been somehow focused more on UFC. How much do you run? At this point, I don't run. I do interval cardios. I sprint, jog back, sprint. That can be one of my interval cardios that I like to do. I'm 32 and I would like to do it for myself as well as compete, since I've seen so many my age at it. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Female champions are quite old. No offense, not in a old way, but like for the sport, you know what I mean? So it's somehow that women are maybe it works differently for women. Maybe women even prime later comparing to other women, and accumulation of the experience, so it works a little bit differently rather with the men. But also, if you look at it, the men's competition also, the age went up. You have Usyk, 38, and you have Crawford, 37, I think. So yeah, they're also, and you look at the Manny Pacquiao, who came back and had a draw with Mario Barrios. So that was, I think he won, in my opinion. I mean, everyone says that Barrios was super respectful. I mean, nothing against the guy, but he was not hesitant in the boxing match. It wasn't easy for him to just jab Pacquiao out, because he was giving him super good resistance. And in the last rounds, I think he took it. So they did it a draw, but I think no one expected Pac-Man to really come up and really technically win the fight. That's my opinion. So yeah, the age is changing. The age standards are changing. I appreciate you being here, guys, again. Who you got? UFC 3 2020, GDM or Islam? Hi Chris, I remember you from the last live stream. Well, again, Islam has potential as like doing the knockout, same as the submission. Always can go to submission to decision as well, but Islam has a slight advantage because he's still a good striker. He has a chance to. He has knocked out some tough guys and tough chins, so we cannot underestimate his stance. But I still think that Jack might be able to. So if he manages to keep the fight in the stance, which is, well, a lot of people doubt that, and that's why people think that Makhachev's gonna enforce his rules, which might happen, but I'm not really exactly sure. It really depends on the first round. Like, I gotta see, unless there's eye pokes, just joking, not gonna happen. Unless it's a Gunn or Jones, there are no eye pokes. But yeah, so I shall see. Which is a very high likelihood, Islam manages to take him to the ground, then pretty much I'm sure that Islam wins. But yeah, if Jack manages to keep it more into the stance and apply some significant damage in the stance to Islam, well, we shall see. It's quite interesting. It's been crazy training with young colleague, age guys that are twice my size. I'm 48 kg. Oh, you're tiny. I mean, I'm trying to go down to 48. I'm now like a 54, 53 kgs. Also, it's been motivating to learn how to keep moving up. Yeah, I mean, guys, they're twice your size. It's good to, when they do controlled pressure and they help you to move, and you learn a little bit how to deal with the reach, in the moderate pace, because no matter what, guys are always faster, even if it's your size, and they're going to be more explosive when they're trained, obviously. If it's an untrained person, you might outbox them, outperform them if you have more experience. But yeah, if you have equally prepared, so just be careful, don't try to be tough, and when you really get hit and you're like, oh, hit me more. No, never do that with guys, and that's just not a good idea. But I mean, I'm just making sure that you're safe, and I wish you all the best, and I wish you to just stick around and get better at it, absolutely. But yeah, health is important. Just guys, and all of you, there are 88 people watching, and I'm gonna say a very important thing. Even a little punch, a little jiggle, a little impact jiggles your brain in that skull. And the more of those you get throughout your life, the more you get exposed, the more vulnerable you become to things like CTE, dementia, and all of the neurodegenerative diseases. And you don't want that. You want to prevent yourself as much as possible with smart sparring, with hydrating, and making sure that you're supplemented, having good nutrition, good sleep, 100%, not a crazy weight cuts where you cannot rehydrate after 24, 48 hours before the fight, and you are almost a ghost on your fight. So those kind of things, they kind of make you one step closer to potential brain damage. And you want to keep yourself as far as possible from it, right? By choosing this lifestyle. So just encouraging you guys, be smart about it, be methodical, look at some science, research a little bit about it, and not saying that you should stop doing it and be completely afraid and scared. That's not what I'm saying, but to be cautious and don't do unnecessary stuff. How many years have you trained? What are your goals? Well, now I want to do pro record and do that in my pace and live stream it and just show that regular people also do that. There are actually quite a lot of people who literally do a daytime job, and they do a pro fights like hobbies, or semi-pro fights like hobbies. But that's good. You want to challenge yourself. You want to challenge that inner warrior, and it's just path of self-perfection. So you never know what it ends up. If I end up to be good, I guess I'm gonna fight on the higher level. But again, to me, it's more about showing the balance between sport and the longevity and health and the healthy attitude to it. The beauty and importance of the community you end up to be with, and all that kind of stuff. So those are my primary goals, and fighting is kind of like a part of it. Rotong is an absolute unit and one of my fighters. Yeah, and I just saw he had the surgery, and he was like, it's so unfortunate he cannot fight, and he wants to fight. He's still there. He's still got the spirit, but sometimes that's the thing. Your body, your injuries, like your body just crashes down and starts collapsing literally, and it just becomes impossible. So I don't know. I hope he recovers, but what I hope even more for him is to be in a good health and be with his family for a long time around, and live a happy and a good life. You know what I mean? Okay. You're trying to find a match for my sister. Chris was asking. She got. Okay. Well, I wish anyone who can teach my lazy sister how to speak English, I'm all for it. I love them both, and I'm so confused who I want to win. I'm very positive about both. I always say that Islam is, I always acknowledge him that he's one of the best fighters at this point in UFC. He has already outperformed Khabib. He's definitely a GOAT. He's one of the new generation of the fighters that are super well-rounded, super beautiful technique, good endurance, good stamina, not that many gaps and weaknesses, and high IQ as well. I think he's funny and cool, and he's definitely my favorite, at least my favorite out of the old Dagestani fighters, and even North Caucasia fighters, including, nothing against Chimaev, but I think I would put Islam in the first spot for me. Only his roasting towards DC and stuff like that is priceless, guys. Did you see the last thing he said? He said that we just should do camp, not too much hard training, just for losing weight for Khabib and DC. So he roasted both now. So it's quite funny. And Jack Della Maddalena, awesome guy. Ginger, so definitely, I think he's one of the great boxers in the whole UFC now. So he definitely has something about him, and we shall see. It's just, though I don't have a personal affair. Not like when it was Pereira Ankalaev. I don't hate Ankalaev or anything, but Pereira was my one of all-time favorites. So I was definitely screaming when when Pereira just knocked him out. I was like, what? Because yeah, that's how it is. I'm wrapping up. Yeah. Okay. What's your record? My record, I have record in amateur fights. So I'm talking about 10 years ago. So it was around 5 fights, including my Georgian nationals. I had 1 fight there, and I was in the competition. So I had 2 wins, 2 losses on those local sparrings there. And then I had open ring tournaments that was not written in my IBA passport. So yeah, that's it. And I'm looking forward to do an official pro record. So open it up and go for pro. Texas. You're Texas. Okay. Okay, there's some conversations right in the chat here, so just feel free. Are you in Thailand? No, it's Vietnam, Nha Trang. The gym is Nha Trang Sport tonight. What's the next challenge for Islam, do you think? I don't know. Let's put Jiri Prohaska in the let's ask him to cut weight and see those two fighting. I don't know. It's a little bit weird. In the welterweight, Burns, Gilbert Burns could be interesting. 1 second, I gotta wrap up gradually. So I don't know, Gilbert Burns. We have Usman. I don't know, welterweights. Some of them are bigger guys. Makhachev was welterweight, so I don't know. Maybe he would come down. Yeah, I don't know. I actually gotta look who is in active welterweight division. I don't really remember right now, honestly. But with Topuria, they're saying that it will be a fight. It will be a great fight. But the problem is in the welterweight, I think it's a little bit too heavy for Ilya. 1 second. I'm just gonna put the phone case. Yeah, I would. That's a little bit of a problem because that difference in the weight, it's almost like 6-7 kgs or something, and it makes quite a big difference. But that would definitely be a disadvantage for Topuria. And it would be a little bit unfair to see because just because it's not the comfortable weight for him and just he's not can't execute his speed and that kind of stuff. It would be a little bit shame for him to lose because of only that reason. Yeah, they're closing up the gym, so let me just yeah, I'm just gonna put on my shoes. Yeah, guys, we're gonna have to take a walk, so we're gonna walk and go to the maybe nearby cafe where they sell. Thank you for the light. All right, we shall go. Thank you. Bye. All right. Hold up. Yeah, this street is always full of people literally having a dinner. So you see, the gym is like a big, massive garage. I don't have my stabilizer, so I just gotta hold it in my hands and just walk that way. Well, Jones is like a sociopath who's trying to pretend to be nice, especially like lately, but he's really not. He enjoys the fact that he could use eye pokes and get away with it, but that's what people like about him, just being unapologetically Jones. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's a good thing, and I'm not saying we need to justify it. Obviously, the rules has to be rules for everyone, but I'm just saying, people love Jones partially for being a bad. 1 second, boom. Okay, there is like a racing. Look at those guys. They're just planning to race here. Teenagers. This is Vietnamese teenagers and pretty much everyone on the scooters. But yeah, Jones definitely was, and he's probably still is one of the best, if not the best, fighting IQs in UFC history. Intel, you still open, yeah? Do you have coconut? Yeah, can I have one coconut? Yeah, 1 second. I'm gonna get a fresh coconut. 30, yeah? what's going on out there. One second. And here we are. Actually, 1 second. Take this, and I gotta get the small cash. See, there is not small cash. Yeah, that's it. One more. Oh, I don't have it. Okay, take this. Yeah, I just had 1,000 less. Thank you. All right. So let me just get a good place where I can just get a good light. Let's see. What about here? Yeah, that's actually not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, let me see. Life is a little bit harder without the proper phone holder, which I don't have right now. But this should work now. Oh, gotta be careful. That works. All right. It works, and I can stick around for a little bit longer. Whew. Okay, let's see what's going on in the chat. You walk around sweaty and with gear on. Well, try not to be sweaty in Vietnam, where it's like a literal 30 degrees Celsius, which is around, well, I'm not sure, but it's around 70 to 80 degrees of Fahrenheit, maybe more. When I make it to pro, I will invite you to the fight. Well, if I'm around, make sure you invite both of us. Boxing or MMA, what do you prefer to watch? I like to watch both, but in their own way. Definitely in the boxing, I'm way more detailized. Though in MMA, I also understand the concept of so even though I don't practice BJJ anymore, I mean, I practice a little bit, but I know certain movements. So when, for example, an athlete goes for like an ankle lock and that kind of stuff, I already kind of see that, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's gonna happen. And then it's like, whether it happens or not. So I see the details in MMA, but in the boxing, it's even more dense, because here in boxing, you watch every jab, every cross, and you watch like, the sleep and the distance control, and then you see what is the dynamic, where it's shifting more, and all that kind of stuff. So I enjoy both in its own way. Okay, well, you gotta trust my husband. He says I hardly smell. Thank you, hardly. I mean, yeah, I guess I don't smell. I don't know. I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna shower, of course I'll do, but what do you want me? Do you want me to take my phone with me or turn off the live stream? You know, that doesn't work exactly that way. Also, that gym specifically doesn't have the best shower options, you know, so I prefer to go home and shower before I sleep. Well, thank you. I appreciate my husband saying that I don't stink. Do you train kicks or grappling or grabbing? I don't train grabbing, but I used to train a little bit of grappling for sure, and I used to do kicks when I was doing karate before boxing, actually. And I still got technique. I still do sometimes the movement just to have it, you know, just not to have the technique in place. But like my shins are softened up because I purely moved to boxing, and I just prefer it that way. Push-ups, do you do them? They will increase your punching power. I think everyone in the sports do push-ups, so I can do push-ups. I can do 10, 15 push-ups, like a proper technique, not the short ones. And I'll tell you, like, that's the thing, it's a little bit old school approach. Nothing wrong with that, but also nothing necessarily right. So people think that this movement, like a jerking push-ups, are good for explosive, this and that, or like sit-ups, you know, like this half sit-ups where you just, you know, do like almost like a, you know, jerking your body. Not really good. It's not. It doesn't really do a progressive improvement. If you look at Tapuria, like why Tapuria is like knocking out everyone flat, right? If you look at his training regimen, he does a lot of strengths-oriented training. So he has like a landmine pushes at him, see, he does the band pushes, controlled ones, and then he does certain things, which is more like a boxing imitating movements, where it's like you go a little bit more repetitive, because obviously you need to learn how to throw like a repetitive punches and not get tired, right? And when it comes to the learning how to, you know, you develop strength in with a physical preparation program in the gym or with the resistance training, and then you go to you work on technique, and then you put all those two together and you learn how to create the power through velocity, so-called. That is an actual punching power. So velocity is speed. So you're not just throwing hard punch. You learn how to, boom, do a super hard punch relative to the speed as well. So you have both in the optimal level for competitive level. So yeah, the science is changing about it. So like this old school approach, I mean, I'm from Georgia. There are a lot of old school stuff there still. And as much as I have respect to a lot of it, I still think like old school things worked more when it comes to the boxing technique purely. The footwork, the drills, a lot of jumping. Soviets were doing jumps are great. Long jumps, tall jumps, broad jumps, drop jumps, every jumps, pogo jumps are great. Sprinting improved my footwork, like I'm not even joking about it. So there are a lot of things they like did right, but then there are a lot of things that are not necessarily. It kind of went to the pop culture, like to the Rocky Balboa and all that kind of stuff, but science doesn't say the same anymore. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. It's called plyometrics and the movement therapy. Yeah, I mean, you can call boxing a movement therapy, why not? Would you please answer? Okay, let me see, what are you asking? Are you Ukrainian? I'm not, well, I am partially. My mom is half Ukrainian, half Russian, so I'm like maybe 1/4 of Ukrainian technically, but like it's just on, like just as I know, as I'm aware. I never done a genetical test, so I cannot tell you exactly how much of Ukrainian I am, but I definitely have some Ukrainian roots. The higher your vertical jump is, the higher you hit, the faster you sprint. Like it relates to a lot. I do 250 every other day, and you wouldn't believe how strong they make you feel. Tyson used to do 500 a day. Yeah, I mean, well, Tyson also being a specimen, like Tyson, there is one Tyson in the world, but I'm just talking about the optimal training. What I would prefer to do, as I said, I do repetitive stuff. I do like boom, 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 boom. I rather do dumbbell like throws like this. I would rather do band assisted same stuff. So if you want repetition and power and speed, like one of the ways how to transit it into, you know, also with having a muscle endurance, just basically being able to throw your punches fast for a longer amounts of period. Yes, I do those. But when it comes to the strengths, I rather do deeps, for example, or landmine, and I'll do less repetitions, more weight. So let's say I already can do 10, 15 push-ups. Then I would ask someone to put the weight on the top of me and actually do, or put a vest on me, and I would try to go and drop it that I can do maximum 5, not more than that. And then I rest a long period of time, and you know, you have a a certain periodization for it, but strength training is very specific. If you really, really want to develop strengths like Tapuria style strengths, it actually can be developed, but not through high repetition. And as I said, I do high repetitions when everything that is related to, throwing those punches like this, and applying pressure. Even just simply standing in front of the bag and you do boom, 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 like not just fast, but you do like a fast tempo, but you also throw like put the momentum, you create the power, and well, you can feel that. So those kind of exercises are like, I find them more beneficial than just doing like a push-ups like this. It's like 100 push-ups in the end. No, not really. Like it, at least not for me. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Appreciate you all being here. What's your thoughts on Americans? Well, I mean, you guys have a lot of shit going on, but I work with Americans. I know Americans. I have a lot of friends from America, and the ones that I'm surrounded with are great people. I'll be honest. They are great people. But they are also the ones who are open-minded. They travel also, like it's not only USA, they're interested in other cultures. So they, those kind of Americans. But also I pretty much meet those kind of people because we travel ourselves as well. So we pretty much meet other travelers as well. Climbing hills, like climbing is good, hiking is good generally. How tall are you? I'm 161 centimeters. I'm not tall. I like punches and throwing a baseball with either hand. You learn how to swing. Does Lomachenko train the same? Well, I've seen Lomachenko doing, as I said, they still might do the push-ups things, but their main success is Lomachenko has been dancing, for example, right? So his father put him in a dancing school before putting him in the boxing for a reason, and they're doing more. So okay, you might have push-ups. There's like, okay, maybe they do a little bit of push-ups in the end, or like 100 or whatever amount is, just to exhaust your muscle. You still need to recover after that, but it's just unnecessary load. When at the same time they do specialized training, when sometimes you have this exercise, I've seen Bivol doing it, when you have resistance, when you have a band, you have a kettlebell on that band, and he was like literally doing uppercuts. So that creates vertical resistance, but also through the band. So you gotta keep the momentum going. It's super hard, super exhausting, but it's good for those. So those kind of repetitions, because it's like literally you're doing punches with the band assisted, weight assisted, whatever assisted, it recreates the pattern. So when you drop all of it and you actually boom, 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 learn how to throw those punches, without it, it really has an effect. It has power, speed, and you don't get tired. Your hands don't drop soon. So those are the goals, right? There's so many mosquitoes. God damn it. Okay, I have to escape soon because like it's just, I mean, they eat me alive all the time. And also a lot of footwork. In Lomachenko's case, he's being like they've been crazy on footwork. Except donations. Well, I mean, figuring that one out, hope my monetization comes soon, because it just was, I misunderstood the policies, so I had the VPN on sometimes when I was last streaming and considered it as the, insufficient traffic or something like that. So it's just been stopped for a little bit, but I hope it comes back. But we're still keep growing our platform, so I think it's gonna come back soon. The waiting period was like 30 days, so which are expiring within a few days now. Wrestling is the best. Wrestling is great. I would say when we talk about perfect physicality, Greco-Roman wrestling is considered one of the sports that develops literally involves all the muscles of the, like all body muscles in. So at least in that, yeah, you can say that it's one of the greatest sports or bases. Okay, I appreciate you guys. Maybe can put up your PayPal, babes. Maybe, yes, I'll try. I'll try. I don't know. I'll check the policies first if there is any policies regarding PayPal or anything. But yeah, it should be possible. Do the jumping jacks. Everyone does jumping jacks. Yes, when I'm told to, I do it. So I got a lot of comments. Well, I'm not Russian, I'm from Georgia though. I have some Slavic blood, that's for sure. Shevchenko, well, I root for her too. I mean, I like Zhang. I think she's a badass, but I think just experience-wise, Valentina is super tough. Like, I think people underestimate how tough she is. Like, tough by, like, and I heard, I'm just telling you because I know a guy, a coach, whose wife, that he's athlete, I mean, he's the coach of his wife. And they've been training with Valentina in Thailand, like, for her camp. She's been, like, her primary sparring partner. And the guy told me that literally some of the trainings that like almost like out of the world, and it's more like a mental training rather than physical, she does sometimes, she has like a 90-minute of the total whatever work, like shadow boxing, rounds, this and that, and like each round is like 10-15 minutes. Like, that's crazy. If that girl just moves all this time in the, like, you know, even a little less pace than she would do in the actual fight, like, I think people underestimate how mentally tough that makes her. So yeah, I still go for Valentina. She's one of the female MMA goats, that's for sure. Well, though for Zhang, I mean, good for shout out for her, like, you know, vacating her belt for the featherweight, I think. Yeah, and she went up to the strawweight now, and we shall see. Could be one of the greatest female bouts lately. I have some Christian values. I'm from Christian country, but I don't identify myself as like specifically Christian. There are a lot of things also that I disagree with, but that's another time to tell that story. Yeah. What do you sound like you do backflips for fun? Well, not backflips, I wouldn't break my neck, but I definitely, I shadow box for fun sometimes. That's what I do. I can pistol squat. Anything that is safe on the ground, I can do. She's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all your support, and how Valentina has been through some serious wars. Yes, indeed. My sister doesn't fight. She's actually, she doesn't train. She just lives. She's stunning. She's beautiful. She's very cute, but she's not really an athlete. Bang is so athletic. Yeah, you know, she's good, and I think she's not. She doesn't look smaller than. I think she might feel very comfortable in strawweight. So I don't expect that fight to be like necessarily one-sided. It might be super close as well. But I'm just saying that people like Valentina has through some wars, and she, like, the girl trains. Some days she does 90 minutes, 90, not 19, 90 minutes apparently, and I mean, even if it doesn't do much with you specifically, like her mentality, her being in the flow state, in the motion, that discipline, that's quite astonishing. Would you ever do a fight companion slipstream? Well, that's the thing. It's a copyright claim. What I can do, and what I can do tomorrow, actually, my time, it's around 8 to 10 a.m. The cards, including prelims, I think. So I can just watch the fight off the screen, and you can watch it on your device, but you can also watch live stream, and you can see my reactions and commentary potentially. Greetings from Russia. I appreciate you. I appreciate your words. Thank you. Valentina's sister, she stopped. She's retired. I think she already had baby. She got her pilot's license. Her name is Antonina Shevchenko. Well, she already has a baby. Bullet. Why is she called Bullet? Well, she is. He punches like a bullet. Okay, kind of proof. If you want to be a moderator, let me see. Add as a moderator, a standard moderator. So I edit you as a moderator now. I think it's be fun. Yeah, it will be. You plan to do that while traveling? Well, what do you mean? I'm gonna just get comfortable, get my another phone, just turn it on there, watch the fight, live stream through this one, and we can all watch it together, but I cannot show it on the screen because it's the copyright, gonna create the copyright issue. Thank you, girl. Appreciate it. Well, again, feel free to mod people. Don't be too harsh on them, but again, some people are hopeless, so you gotta just keep the chat clean. Okay, like your last comment, for example. I mean, come on, guys. Are you? From Connecticut. Hi, USA. Connecticut. I don't remember anyone from Connecticut joining my live stream, so I appreciate it. More and more people from all around the world. That's what the smartwatch. That's the Garmin Vivo Active Ultra something, like I forgot, but it's a Vivo Active Garmin model. It's quite an old model, but it works well for me and I like it. And there's a lot of mosquitoes here, guys. So I'm gonna drink my coconut and I'm gonna have to wrap it up and go home and chill. Oh, Eubank versus Ben is tonight. Oh, I missed that one. Man, I'll try to find it. Tonight where? Tonight in the USA? Tonight now? Like tonight, what tonight? Or it's probably morning. It's probably same time as or around the same time as the UFC. So I'll look it up. Red hair usually means some Celtic or Nordic. Well, I'm not even naturally red hair, so it's deception. It's all illusion. But I have light enough hair for the Slavic. I definitely have Slavic roots. Well, you never know. Maybe some Scandinavians, because some parts of my mother's relatives, they are from the regions where that were occupied by Vikings for centuries. So you never know. But gotta check that one. I'm in Texas. Hi, Texas. We love Texas. I don't know, somehow we're lucky with the cool Texans. We always meet the super awesome Texans. So, and in this chat, they're usually super awesome Texans here too. Bye bye. Have a good night. Some people are discussing incels that need to get their faces boxed. Some people don't know how to speak to a lady. It's sad. That's an internet effect. When you are, hiding behind the profile, I think we all are more brave. But it's just about to, just remind ourselves that maybe we shouldn't do some things, and we just keep the human decency. But again, for some people it's easy because they know that they're not gonna get exposed. Like, being with the fake accounts here. So it is what it is. We can just keep the chat clean. So thank you for volunteering for it. Hazel, like my eyes are like hazel. Okay, fuck off, baby. That's the most romantic things he tells me. Like when I say, "Oh, do you like my eye color?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a beautiful poop color." Like, what are you talking about? But adorable. Well, Chris is Viking for sure, so our kids one day will be half Georgians, half Caucasians, half Vikings. That could be that's gonna be a good mix. Then we're gonna put them in the wrestling since they're sent to 3 years to Georgia, forget, then come back, sent 3 years to Norway for endurance training and forget, and then back to some striking and just raise some superhumans. Yeah, I know, funny, yeah, isn't it? Girls like that, guys, bully them a little. Bully them with love, don't forget love. It's the funniest thing that guys are actually, I think you're taking notes, right? You're taking notes for that one. But it's also a good check. I mean, if a girl laughs her ass on that one, she's the real one. Because you should know how to sometimes be silly, and you shouldn't take yourself seriously too much all the time. Yeah, they're gonna be taller than me, but it doesn't matter. I can hold pads for them. I can hold pads for you. The height doesn't stop me, so there shouldn't be a problem with them. Oh, another Viking, also from Iceland. That's cool. Iceland is one of the quite a far point from here. So I don't know, what time is it there in Iceland now? You are my favorite. I appreciate it. Thank you. Best relationship I ever had was with the ginger. Still together after 15 years. Well, great, congrats. I mean, gingers are funny. Doesn't matter, real gingers or fake gingers. The people ginger chooses you or you choose to be ginger, doesn't matter. It's a certain type of attitude. We're not very serious people when it comes to, I mean, I'm serious when it comes to responsibility and life and things, but at the same time, welcome to joke. They're fun. We're fun. We can joke. We can take the bullying. We can be cute and funny when we get bullied, and sometimes we do some punching back as well. And yeah, that's fun. It's fun with us. Some people think being super nice is a good way to flirt, but it's not really. You have to show some personality. Yeah, you sure got it. I mean, also being nice and decent is different things. Like you can be decent, human being like, act decent, but as you said, have personality. Like nice is almost, unfortunately, nice became a definition of basically simping to a person, and that's not a very good idea. When girls simp to guys, well, sometimes it's not a good idea. I mean, a good man might appreciate that, but most of people, I think, they always tend to want something they cannot get, and because of that dynamic, I think the more boundaries you have, kind of thing, and it definitely works for guys. I mean, well, in my and Chris's case, like Chris never ever told me that I'm too clingy, and I can be super clingy, and that's been like a gift from the god, or from the gods. Like, I don't know, the Odin sent me him to be loved and cherished. But the point is that it's just like, I fortunately never had a problem with Chris, who is being too clingy and stuff. But unfortunately, there are quite a lot of guys who has the kind of same effect. You try to be too nice with them, you try to actually finally relax and show your femininity, and they're kind of like, whoa, we are a relationship. So I think when sometimes guys don't want any responsibility, and when you try to show them any care and any nurturing, they're like, no, that's like, I have not signed for it. So yeah, it's, you gotta be stand your ground a little bit. Girls hate Sims, and it's amazing how many guys are clueless to this. Yeah, I mean, guys, just think about it that way. No one likes a person who don't have respect to their own self. And simping is basically, I mean, people do crazy stuff because of simping. They literally walk over their self-respect like nothing, like it doesn't exist. And guys do that. Guys do that because of a girl and the pussy, and that's sad. That's not good for you. That's not healthy. A guy who has dignity, self-respect in the first place, and understanding of their self-worth is potentially going to have a better chances and going to be more attractive, even simply because of that, rather than someone who is literally trying their best and almost being like a puppy. I mean, if I really want to be adored and just loved unconditionally, I'm going to get a dog. That's a good quote, actually. I remember that it was a joke somewhere. I don't remember where I saw that first time, but it is basically it. If I want someone to blindly love me and be loyal, nothing wrong with loyalty, but you know what I mean. I would get a dog. You have to find balance. That is also true. I mean, just trying to be alpha macho man and but also live a completely different lifestyle and just create a facade. That is also just get jacked and have a testosterone boost and tattoos and be like oh, I'm alpha. That is also not the way. I mean, it might work better. You still I think they still have a better competition. They still have a better chances of having some sort of. But there's gonna be a kind of similar mentality women too, who are into all that toxicity and stuff. When we're talking about decent, real people, it's about balance. It's about complexity. Our personalities can be super complex at times, and it can be tricky sometimes. So I'm all for the balance. Simping says, I will change myself for you, which equals no backbone. Yeah, I mean, it's also, let's phrase it is that way. It's being, I'm going to be anything, whatever you want for you, and this is the worst thing you can, and the worst power you can give someone else, for them to choose whatever they want to make out of you. This is the worst thing. But at the same time, because people get traumatized in relationships and mistreated and that kind of stuff, a lot of men as well, by women that they simp, they're mistreated by them, and then they get too closed up. And even if with a managed relationship, having that attitude that, oh, I'm not going to change. Well, that's the thing. When you actually have a good, healthy relationship, you actually make each other better. You change, but you change together, and you don't change for just to validate each other. You change together because you evolve, and then you want to change for your relationship and for your kids' sake. For like you always want to keep changing, but in a good way, transforming, so-called, not like changing. So I think people can go to extremes. They're like, I understand you shouldn't change yourself just to get that validation. If the person doesn't want you, they don't want you, and the best chance for that. For you to make them want you is actually to just walk away and tell them, okay, you don't want me, fuck off, bye, and just really not give a damn about it. But that's also not the person you want to spend your life with. I can guarantee you that. Boundaries, when woman shit test is something you have to learn to deal with. If you can say no to your girl, with automatically know you're someone who can stand up for your woman, your kids. Yeah, I think that happens. Sometimes it happens involuntarily, but also I think it says a lot. There's like two women potentially, and one woman gonna shit test you by, oh, this man looked at my butt, you gotta fight them. And so she's ready to put you in a dangerous situation just to see how much of a man you are, or how much are you ready to sacrifice for her, and that stuff. And there is another way of the shit testing is basically, well, like I should tested Chris. I just took him on a hike. I also wanted to show my interest, and that I love nature, I love hikes and that kind of stuff. But I also want to see if he could walk. But also considering that he had the flu and he was still having cancer, and he was still on his way to recovery. So I appreciate it. But I also thought it would be a good kickstart for him mentally. I think I genuinely thought so. It wasn't just shit testing him. It was also like I wanted to show him a healthy environment, and that I want to be in a healthy environment, and I think it could be healthy for him as well. So there are different types of the shit test, and it also indicates on the girl's personality. If she's actually caring and nurturing, and she already likes you enough that she already cares for you, that she doesn't want you to put in a crazy, stupid situation, but she still wants to see if you can stand up for her, or if you're capable of those certain things, and etc. Dan doesn't follow me because I bully and I'm bigger than her. She follows me because I lead her to good places. Not hood places, guys, good places. And both physically and mentally are, and geographically. Yeah, I mean, my love's being amazing this is. And well, ask Chris if I'm making his life better too. I think it's you should ask that question to him, and he might respond to that as well. So it's also as what I'm trying to bring to the table, how I want to make his life better, how I want to help him strive and feel peaceful, feel happy, healthy, all that kind of stuff. So it's beautiful when you care for each other, and when you in a daily life you learn. You don't compete. You don't compete about who's going to do more, who's going to do less. You literally think about. You know that your spouse is thinking about you, and you're just thinking about how you make their life better. Mahachik Tupuria, if it's 150-50, so yeah, lightweight, then 50-50. But I don't know which category they're gonna share. We're gonna talk about it when they say exactly if the fight is happening and which weight class. This is what I do for work, live streaming. Well, I'm growing my platform. Right now it's not getting monetized, so not really. But we both do remote income, like work online. So basically that helps us to travel around as well. That's 100% true. Always be willing to walk away. Yeah, and it's also important. Boundaries, you gotta have boundaries. I mean, no matter what. That also always keeps the value. Like, it reminds of it helps your partner not to forget your value, and that you shouldn't be mistreated just because you're with them. So that's a kind of a trick that's a card you always should have in your pocket. Remind me, you remind me that I told you that your channel is going to grow, and you shared the stats and agree. I'm trying to remember, you gotta specify, but I've done maybe now 300, 400 live streams already. So yeah, it's sometimes hard to remember where was that. Oh yeah, he's in remission. He was gastrointestinal tumor. Fortunately, it never spread. It was encapsulated. But after he had a base jumping crash, and then he got collapsed lungs, and he was put into artificial coma, reanimated. Like, he basically pulled through that, and when he woke up, was super skinny, had to gain weight, and they're like, well, you woke up, that's already a miracle, but you also have this cancer tumor that we found out, and we need to operate you. So when 2-3 months he was gaining weight, I think it was like the pandemic period. It was before we met. It was around 2 or 1.5 years before we met. We met in Georgia when he already was through that. He recovered, he learned how to walk, he regained some weight, but dirty weight. Then he moved to Georgia, and this is where we met. He was still in the process of recovery. That was the period when he started training, and I was not in great shape either. I was also vegetarian, so he converted me to eat meat. But we started doing things step by step together. And I remember we would walk a little bit. He would get a little bit tired. Would do a couple pull-ups. And he would teach me about the grease the groove method, because he's been also researching and learning and rebuilding himself all this time. And a lot of knowledge I have now is also definitely from Chris, and also from living with him, because we watch things together, we research, and my English also got way better. So I do independent researches as well. But now here we are. Now he's absolutely healthy, doing training. I've been training him boxing for quite a few months now. He's getting better, being in a good shape. Cancer is all controlled. Everything's fine, and yeah, that's how it is. He's a strong fellow. You speak Russian? Yes. Okay, one huge thing is the most men want feminine women, but to bring out proper feminine qualities, you have to be a proper man and bring proper masculinity, not being a simp and be weak all the time. Oh, that's a good point. I wasn't the most feminine. But Chris definitely brought me. Guys, whoever thinks that I look like a tomboy, there was someone saying I'm like a tomboy and like a lesbian and stuff. Well, sorry, but I think that's the most feminine of me you get, unless I'm dressed up and putting on makeup and going out somewhere. But because this is the most feminine you get of me. I don't think I've ever been as feminine as I'm now, and as good looking, as thriving, physically fit and healthy as I'm right now. Yeah, I know it's 50-50. Someone said GDM is going to dominate, but the problem with GDM, I don't think that has that many chances on the ground. But it really depends if he does a successful takedown defenses, if he really brings the fight back to up in striking. You never know. I think he has the chances in the stance quite literal 50-50 against Islam. Okay. Okay, and keep scrolling up, guys. Who is the best active fighter in the UFC now? Or you can put Islam Makhachev, Ilia Topuria, and Merab Dvalishvili. I mean, those three definitely. Well, Khamzat Chimaev, you can, but let's be honest, Khamzat's dominating predominantly through wrestling. He's wrestling. I enjoy watching sometimes like just the pure grappling matches, but you know how what is the attitude. Your fans don't want too much of that. I think they're more excited for the striking. I think well, I mean, not necessarily like the best right now in that way, but Pantoja is the best in his division, and yet it's like a weight class lower than Merab. And those two could be interesting if there was a catchweight fight or something, but I don't think that is happening at this point. How you change accent? Clever Europeans or Americans? How you change accent? What do you mean? Do I change accent? I mean, my accent is the way it is. Dominant grappling always beats elite striking. Well, that's what I'm talking about. That the only time the strikers can go is they go with the super pressuring striking, and they learn how to do a takedown defenses and just try to keep the fight up, which is a very hard job. I'll be honest. That's a difficult thing to do. Hello, hi everyone. Appreciate you being here, guys. Thanks for coming in the live stream. Good morning to you and your hubby. Have a great day. I appreciate it. Have a great day too. Imagine if strikers could go as hard in sparring as wrestlers. It would change the sport, in my opinion. Well, it's still different patterns. Punching, I mean, you have punchers like Tyson, for example. I don't think Tyson still, unless he really, really would get like straight away knockout, because still, even MMA fighters, they don't start necessarily from the takedown straight away. They at least throw one punch, right? So, well, with Tyson's power, he could knock out maybe pretty much everyone, like just if he could catch them. But that's the point is, you already have, I think it was whose fight was that? There was boxer, it was in UFC. I forgot the name. It was the black guy, the boxer, and was Prokop? No, not Prokop. I forgot, but like there was a fight where, and there was MMA rules, boxer against the MMA, for example, like if all-rounded, and it was to show that no, the MMA fighter who also knows how to wrestle, they're always going to go for the takedown against the striker, against the boxer, and it makes sense. That's why strikers need to learn. They might not learn like a wrestling, but BJJ, takedown defense, certain things that just help them to, keep it up. Do you remember legendary boxer named Christy Martin? Yeah, they made a movie about her now with Sydney Sweeney. Did you see that clash? By the way, let me just get up because mosquitoes is literally eating me alive now, guys. So I gotta take them like fucking shits. Sorry for swearing, but I mean, I've been tolerating it, but yeah, I gotta wrap it up now. It's even biting me now. But yeah, anyways, the Sydney Sweeney's playing her now in that movie. I gotta watch it. Some people say it's good. They just went there to support her because people were literally going against her, like all the woke community were like or she doesn't represent us. And it was funny that Christy Martin herself defended Sydney, and people who went to watch that movie just to support her actually liked it. Some of people say that it's actually quite a good movie, and she actually played the role. So I want to watch it. I don't know if you've seen it. Let me know how it was. Yeah, Christy Martin. Yeah, she was one of the like pioneers. You know, like female boxing also had their pioneers, and well, she also what she survived is quite fascinating and miraculous on its own. So yeah, her story is. I'm glad they made a movie about it, about her. So gotta watch it. The last conference was really boring. They don't know how to hype up fights. Listen, when you have Islam in the room, in the conference room, you just need to ask, make DC ask him questions, and that's it. That's gonna be the best PR. Just put Islam and Daniel Cormier in the same room. Well, there are talks about Tyson. Well, this one case was a little bit vicious because, yeah, it was well, he was accused of rape. I think he was convicted on that one too. But that girl was literally partying like 8 hours later. So I don't know, man. It's a little bit shady. I mean, there is an actual non-consent, no consent abuse. And that, well, it unfortunately happens that most of the rapers are men, right? And men in power very frequently, like we shouldn't deny it. But I don't know, with Tyson, it almost sounds like women can be vicious too. Women can use it into their advantage. And they can just put themselves in the victim situations. As I said, at least that one case I know where he was actually convicted, like he was almost, and again, he was in the wrong environment. I'm not justifying, if he really did it, definitely not justifying that, but there is a certain patterns of behavior when a woman is abused, and I know some abused women, unfortunately, they really don't want to be victims. They really close off, they isolate themselves usually. They have like a lot of issues, but they try to fight it and recover, and at least they have a desire it, even if they don't have energy for it in the beginning. Like saying that you're raped, but then being caught on being in a nightclub and partying like hours after so-called rape. I don't know. That doesn't sound right for me. I'm sorry, but when people say that, oh, everyone processes trauma in their own way, I don't know. Like, if someone like a Tyson size would abuse me, literally, I don't think I would dance hours later in the club. So that specific case, I don't know, man. A lot of questions. Surprisingly, that Islam looks bigger than Jack Della. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think they did all the tests and stuff, but it's a little bit funny. He got jacked up so quickly, and he's been saying that he's been taking creatine. Well, I don't know. Well, no, not saying anything, but yeah. Let's see the fight. Exciting for it. exactly. Even if he did it, which we cannot say, he served this time, and that's not him today. Yeah, that's that's if you look at it that way, yeah, from one side. But unfortunately, that's the thing. Sometimes you have people, and I'm not talking about Tyson. I'm talking about people who, you have. Oh yeah, they serve their time. Well, they do it again usually, and those are very flawed, very damaged people with usually no return, even though maybe as a Christians or people with the Christian values would believe that there is always possibility for redemption. But Tyson, like all his interviews I've seen when he was younger, when he was under Kaz D'Amato's wing, when he was still there, if only Kaz lived longer, like that also I think would play a big role in his life. But even during those periods, he seemed quite smart man, like maybe not like a book intelligent necessarily, but like a lot of vocabulary he used and a lot of interviews, the way Tyson talks, you can't say that he's a stupid man and he didn't think about his life even at that point, questioning why Kaz chose him, and so many deep questions, so many deep topics that he's been talking about sometimes, in some of his interviews. So the man he is now, and I'm very happy to see him healthy, being able to move the way he moves, living his life. People pretty much loving him and respecting him. That warms my heart. I think he deserved that. Donking was a horrible influence on him. I think donking was horrible influence on anything that he touched. But yeah, unfortunately, that period boxing was rooted in the mafia heavily. I mean, I'm not saying it's completely clean and non-corrupted now, but now it's still kind of possible to guard yourself. The sports changed a little bit. I think people stick more to their sport and less to the shady connections now. But you never know, it still might be there. With the Tracy Cortez, I would just I would tell her, look behind Islam Makhachev, and she would oh, whoa, what is he doing here? And I would run away, and her coach would explain to her that it's like a main card. What are you talking about? Did you like the joke? Did you understand it? Why it's still dark here? Because it's evening. It's Vietnam. I was in Georgia. We were in Georgia for a couple months, but we are back in Vietnam now. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Would you like to work in WWE? Oh, I'm not so sure. I mean, rather maybe in UFC. Would love to. WWE is a little bit not my field, but it's also super hard. Like the slams, the shows they stage, actually some of them are super traumatic, like physically. I mean, so I'm gonna I didn't really know much about pro wrestling before, but after we watched a documentary, like a Netflix documentary about McMahon and the family, and how it started, how it developed, and well, it's hard. It's a hard field. So I mean, not directly. I wouldn't work there. Why Vietnam? To train. Well, super affordable, good for a few things, and beautiful country. beautiful coastal city than the chunk where we're at. And yeah, for training, it's also alright. It's not as I don't have everyday sparrings like I would have in Thailand, like light sparrings. Unfortunately, there are not that many competition, not that many groups like that. Maybe somewhere in Saigon, but not here. But it's good. It's still good, and it's relatively close to Thailand. So if I would need to go there and have a fight, it's actually not it's a short flight. The sums, and also you gotta be able to handle someone else's weight on you in WWE. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the guys what they're doing is quite crazy. Well, whoever is misbehaving, guys, just be chill. Let's just chill. It's also it's feel free to agree to disagree. We gotta learn to do that, and it's fine. Just no need for disrespect, no need for taking things too personally. Here we have a free speech, but also disrespect is not tolerated at all. Who's your favorite fighter? Merab Dvalishvili Letopuria is my fellow Georgians that I really deeply cheer for. And then, fighters like, I do like Alex Pereira. I would put Alex Pereira as one of my favorites. Poatan. Also, I got your joke about Tracy Cortez. LOL. Well, I hope it made you smile. It was a little bit flat joke, but I think it was cute. Okay, Chris is trying to educate people here. Just teach them how to behave in the chat, which is okay. But guys, it's really easy for us to time you out or hide you from the channel forever. It's like just one click. So we don't want to do that too much because we want people to enjoy our live streams, join us, talk with us, get some value from those live streams. Whether it's talking or training or giving some tips, doesn't matter. But there are certain rules. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia, the country, myself. Same as Mirab and Ilya. Love the Diaz brothers. Nate is the best. Well, Nate, the both are great. And don't you think that Nick Diaz's suspension was one of the most unfair things in the UFC suspension history? Do you think about just because of the weight? That is not even a performance-enhancing drug. Do you think so? I think it was like 5 years because they found the weed in there, and they just striped him of the best years of his career. Like, we don't know what Nick Diaz could do, and definitely could give us a better, so much more great fights, if not that. Oh, we had the proud Georgian in SF, you mean San Francisco, named Zaza Pachulia. Well, Zaza Pachulia, yeah, he's a basketball player. He was in the NBA, right? Because I remember the whole country got crazy. And even though I don't really watch basketball, but we were like all over the social media, all over the Facebook at that time, hashtagging Zaza Pachulia. NBA Zaza Pachulia, that was the hashtag, and we were like literally all over it. Miss, where are you from? I'm from Georgia, the country. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Fyodor Emelianenko is one of the greatest after surviving that suplex. That was a nasty suplex. But yeah, have you seen like his face didn't even change? Yeah, that's the last emperor. Also, the super cool name. Like, I think that's one of the best names. Fyodor, the last emperor, Emelianenko. That was indeed different heavyweight era. Fights might be more technical nowadays, but that was something else. The special heavyweight division. What did your coach break? Sorry, what? I can't read properly, I think. Okay, well, Chris is responding to a lot of stuff. I won a bunch of money of that Nate Connor fight. Oh, good for you. Good for you. I think that was McGregor's first loss, actually. Wrestling is scripted, but it's not easy. They have a lot of injuries and brain damage. Well, that's the thing. I think everyone knows that. I mean, except if you're a kid. But adult fans know that it's like a universe they just created for people to, enjoy that show and that drama and all that kind of stuff. But also, it's like you don't really talk about it. Like, I think Ronda Rousey did it wrong. Like, she went to WWE, didn't manage to deal with the so-called hit. It's called hit, I think. There, it's like they can boo you, and you gotta embrace it. You gotta play that character. But she literally said the it's fake. Well, no shit, it's fake. Everyone knows that, but you don't say that out loud. That's not how it works. So I think, yeah, the WWE fans are one of the, crazy fans. So you shouldn't mess with them. So yeah, everyone knows that it's fake, but that's the point of it. Okay, I'm keep scrolling through the chat. Appreciate you being here, guys, again. Like Jackie Chan, Mike Joe White, Van Damme. Well, you know who actually could fight? Benny the Jet Urquidez, and he has that he has the fight with was it Jackie Chan? Yeah, I think he had the fight with in the movie. I forgot the movie name, but I'm not very good at movies. But I remember that scene. It was one of the best staged fights. But Benny the Jet Urquidez was actually super prominent. One of the legendary kickboxers and Okidokan martial arts creator, and basically. He's still alive, he's still doing great, he's teaching, raising generations, great personality, and I think he had like 200 and something, 220 or 12 fights total, and most of them are wins. So that's quite crazy. Okay. I'll keep scrolling up. Someone called me a feminist. What an insult. You're smart? Well, that made me feel better after a feminist comment. Have you watched the movie Bloodsport? I'm not so sure. As I said, I'm not really great with movies. Chris knows from the other hand. Chris knows a lot of movies. He's seen a lot of movies, good ones. He's very picky with the movies. So there is a chance we've seen it together, or I haven't seen it at all, because a lot of movies, classics, I watched together with Chris. Let's give her likes, guys. Double tap screen. Appreciate it. Thanks for instructions as well. I didn't know that. I think, can I just double tap it? Oh, okay, I can do it from mine, but I didn't know that. The best staged fight was Trump shouting fight, fight, fight after taking assassination attempt. Well, yeah, it's like having super accurate staged. Yeah, people believe everything is staged, but that one, guys, I can tell you, that was a super luck. I don't know. Trump seems to be super lucky, but not everyone can handle it that way. I mean, the guy has guts. You know, like him or dislike him, agree he with his politics or not. That one thing was, and I think it also worked well with his PR. The fact that he obviously that missed, he survived, but his reaction that he was like, you know, fight stuff. Well, I don't know. If you're saying that it's staged, then you gotta explain how it was staged and that kind of stuff. And people saying that, oh, his ear is not gone. It just went through. It just ripped it off a little bit, so it was easily. It wasn't like a Holyfield effect when we actually lost the part of his ear. Not like that. So it was easily repairable. Chris says Bloodsport is a great classic. Maybe we should watch it. With this screaming is helpful while punching, well, sometimes, but what is actually really helpful is actually the right breathing. What you do, when you do like exhale and not, you actually time it correctly, and you really, it helps to pace you properly. So you do, and if you do 2 punches like you do, you learn how to do the short exhales in that specific manner. So you don't really have to worry about inhales that much, and you pace out throughout the quite high pace for a significant amount of time. Stop and like and share. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Staged LOA, they were trying. Well, when people say that those kind of things are staged, then explain to me how it was staged. Okay, it's almost like if people like, oh, there was never Americans never landed on moon, and the Earth is flat, and they're like, oh, but how do you disprove? Oh, everything is illusion, and you know, disproving all the science, all the genuine human attempts to achieve greatness and progress and try to step beyond and into the whatever, finding new lands, finding new nature, going to the cosmos, to the space. So just give me a proof then. Georgia needs to recover the land from Russia. Well, hopefully one day there's going to be politically appropriate time for it. It's not that easy. We don't even have a strong army, unfortunately. I mean, we might have a well-prepared soldiers like special forces who had experience with, American contractors and stuff like that. But as an American contractors or, and being deployed in different places. But that's it. We don't really have a strong army. So it really depends on the situation. Hold up. Okay, guys, to stop and we can make videos. Lives. Okay, well, Chris just messaged me, and that's a good idea. When I'm gonna wrap this live up now, like literally, because my phone's gonna die. But feel free to write down under the video, like it's gonna get recorded. So write down under this live stream in the comment sections what kind of videos you want to see. I'm thinking more and more, especially when the monetization comes back, I'm gonna do the more long form content as well. And I'm just thinking to do what I can do the best. What is something that you want to see? For example, things like boxing challenges or boxing lessons, certain long form videos where I break down techniques, break down like fights, whatever. Just let me know what kind of fights, what kind of videos and what kind of sorry, I'm a little bit tired, guys. What kind of content you would like to see? Write down under the comment section in this live stream. Not here in the chat, but in the comment section. You would do me a big favor. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Appreciate you being here again. Kung Fu can never win a real fight. Well, we have actual evidence that it doesn't work that way. The fighting is tough and intense, and like it's a pressure. It's not beautiful sometimes. It has to have a power. It has to have a resistance. You cannot just do a beautiful moment and expect it to work. Just disconnect it for a second, and feel free to watch my other videos too, because I've done some videos, and well, some of them are not boxing related, but if you're interested, that would be nice. Okay, keep scrolling up. If you could change one thing in the UFC, what would you change? Add hydration tests. That's the first thing I would do. Add hydration tests, like the obligatory ones. I'm a boxer. I'm not an MMA fighter. Killing instinct fighting skills. Well, that's the thing. Sometimes killing instinct can be good, but skills can be so bad that anyone's skillful with the less killing instinct can do something. We're talking about like hand-to-hand fight. But if you put killing instinct plus a little bit of skill, you don't have to be like a world champion. A little bit of skill, and well, maybe some ability to use weapons and stuff. Then that makes you dangerous to mess with. But okay, guys, I appreciate you being here. My phone is gonna literally die this minute. As I said, feel free to write the comments what kind of content you want to see more, except the live streams, obviously. Also, feel free to say regarding live streams, what kind of live streams, but also what kind of videos you want to see. And well, I see you. I'm gonna try to go live from the GDM, like the UFC 22. 322 card. Okay, so thank you for being. It was fun being here. It was fun. Good combos, good light training, good nice walk. You helped me to kill the time, and see you in the next live stream. Bye bye.